questions. I have a couple just related to culture. Culture is a really, really important part of organizational change, business transformation, and getting people to do things differently than they might not have done since the dawn of time, since email was originally formed. And as you say, things get trapped in email for workflow. So maybe just broadly talk through culture and sort of what you see when you work with clients in this space.
Well, everyone really likes their email, and I think that that's something that I'm finding big resistance on is there's a huge attachment to email. And personally, I've been finding it's harder and harder to manage a big mailbox. And I definitely prefer I've taken a tone now with my team where we don't email each other anymore. There's no point. An email is a business letter to your customers, and a Teams message or some sort of other instant message is a conversation. And I think we've moved a lot of our just general communication there, which I think has been a subtle but significant shift on just like the general tone across the organization. Okay, so we're taking a tone where email is a little bit antiquated, and we have now made a purpose for emails, business letters, WeChat, and Teams. And we can take that same extension and say, well, if I get a new tax form from the CRA for my staff, why would I ever print it off? I'm just going to, from a top-down perspective, digitize it the first time before anybody sees it, and take that new step where we start trying to be early leaders on the adoption instead of the laggards. McKinsey did a survey last year, and they found that automation leaders were able to cut 22% off of their processes, whereas only about 8% for laggards who were investing in similar process improvements that weren't automated. And so I think it's just looking at, if we have that culture from the top down, then a lot of these problems get simpler to solve. And we don't necessarily feel so overwhelmed by how much work it might be as a culture change if we're trying to push those things the first time. And so if there's a new process, we are taking an automation first perspective on it instead of trying it out. There's a little bit of a growing pain there, and it's a little bit slower to get some of those things to market. But I think it's the similar process of, you want to polish it before you would bring it to market from whatever perspective you're taking. If it's part of the operational service, we just think the supporting paperwork and the rest of that is equally as important to make sure that it's a very scalable, repeatable process.
Mm-hmm. One more question just related to culture then. So when you engage with clients and their stakeholders around trying to drive new behavior based on changes to the technology and the automated workflows, what, if any, are some of the typical resistances that you might encounter with people that would cause them to either resist the changes that you're trying to drive or to not engage with you in the first place?